Coming up on WTOL the news here on Plus, he's accused of killing his wife and hiding her body. What's expected next in the murder trial of Dale Warner? Plus, the latest on the DHS funding freeze after Congress stalls. Democrats demanding ICE reforms in response to deadly shootings by federal agents. And from life-saving heart surgery as a newborn to dominating on the wrestling mat today, we share the story of a heart warrior from our area. Welcome into WTOL the news here on Plus. I'm Michael Sandlin. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We'll get to all of our top stories and more in just a moment, but first, let's bring in meteorologist John Birchfield. John, another wonderful, mild day today. Really a nice break after that cold stretch we had. Is this going to keep going into the work week?
Yeah, Michael, that taste of spring is here to stay, at least for a couple more days, so we'll savor it while it is here. In fact, by midweek, I'm expecting high temperatures to climb up into the 60s. There is going to be some rain early Wednesday, but it's not going to be a total washout, so you will be able to enjoy that warmth. Temperatures have trended even milder based on new data. Right now, a very mild evening with overnight fog developing and a February thaw with rain chances ahead. Hope you enjoyed that sunset. Our sunset time at 6:07, gaining over 2.5 minutes per day. Some spots are still in the 50s southwest of Toledo, and there could be some fog developing tonight with all that snow melt. Visibility dropping. Now, with the President's Day holiday, not quite as many folks on the roads, but do plan on delays if you do have anywhere to be. Temperatures once again in the 50s. I'll show you when we climb to the 60s coming up in your full 10-day forecast. Michael?
All right, we'll see you then, John. A Williams County man accused of fleeing a crash in November that injured 3 people, including 2 children, was arrested for driving under the influence in Indiana earlier today. According to a county sheriff's office in Indiana, 32-year-old Michael Quillen of Bryan was arrested early Sunday morning and booked on charges of intoxicated driving. Just months before, Quillen is also accused of rear-ending a buggy just outside of Bryan on November 12th, leaving a 27-year-old woman and 2 children with serious injuries. Quillen is facing 3 felony charges from the buggy crash for failure to stop after the accident, as well as driving under suspension, possession of cocaine, and tampering with evidence. A head-on fatal crash that has killed 1 and injured 2 others happened last night on US 23, south of Stearns Road in Monroe County. Now, according to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, 18-year-old Calvin Campbell was driving northbound in the left lane on US 23 with a 17-year-old passenger when their vehicle was hit head-on by 60-year-old Rhonda Bartnick driving southbound in a northbound lane. Campbell and his passenger were taken to the hospital and are currently in serious condition. Bartnick was pronounced dead at the scene. The crash remains under investigation. The Dale Warner trial is set to continue this week. Warner is accused of killing his wife Dee Warner back in 2021 and covering it up. The court is closed tomorrow due to President's Day, so testimony is set to start back up Tuesday. That's when prosecutors will continue to lay out their timeline, arguing that Dale Warner killed his wife and then took steps to cover it up. On Friday, jurors heard more about the investigation into Dee's disappearance, including how authorities tracked evidence and began focusing in on her husband. Dee Warner was reported missing in April of 2021. Prosecutors say she was killed inside the couple's Franklin Township home in Lenawee County. Her body was later found buried on the property. Testimony so far has included details about the search for Dee, the condition of the property, and how investigators built their case. The defense has maintained Dale Warner is not guilty and has worked to challenge the prosecution's timeline and evidence. You can watch the entire trial right here on WTOL 11+. You'll be able to watch some of the bigger moments, and then starting again next week, some in-depth legal analysis. Download WTOL 11+ on your TV and watch it for free. People across Northwest Ohio are continuing to protest Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE's, operations. This afternoon, dozens of people in Perrysburg also made sure their voices were heard. The event started at 1 p.m. at the intersection of Front Street and Louisiana Avenue. Protesters we spoke with say after seeing the violence in Minnesota, they don't want anything like that to happen here.
We've seen the killings of multiple people in our cities who are U.S. citizens who had no reason, and I think it's important that we keep our citizens safe and free.
I wouldn't be surprised if ICE comes here because of how Perrysburg is a much more diverse area than people perceive it as. This is like a little step, but any step for peace is the right direction.
The event was organized by the two Perrysburg students we just heard from, who say they would have been happy if just 5 people showed up, but were thrilled when dozens actually arrived. Funding for the Department of Homeland Security ended late Friday after Congress failed to pass a spending bill to fund it. TSA, FEMA, the Coast Guard, and ICE are amongst the agencies impacted. However, most DHS employees are considered essential and will be forced to continue working without pay. All other government agencies have been fully funded through September, but money for DHS got held up after Democrats demanded reform to its immigration and customs enforcement operations. Jen Sullivan has those details.
Money to fund the Department of Homeland Security has halted. Democrats are pushing for reforms and more oversight of the agency's immigration and customs enforcement before signing off on more funding.
We have a rogue agency. Why don't we rein them in?
The demand for change comes after federal immigration agents fatally shot 2 U.S. citizens last month. Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good were killed by DHS agents during protests in Minneapolis. Their deaths sparked nationwide outrage over ICE's handling of protests. As a result, Democrats say they want to see a slew of policy changes, including tougher new use of force guidelines. But the Trump administration says those policies are already in place.
Border Patrol and ICE both have use of force guidelines. They both have operational instructions on, use the minimum force necessary.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Democrats also seek no roving patrols. ICE agents blocked from entering churches, schools, or polling places, coordination with local agencies, and no more masks. In response to the January killings, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem announced earlier this month that all DHS agents in Minneapolis would wear body cameras, with the program gradually expanding nationwide. But she did not change the mask policy.
What are you going to do, expose their faces so you can intimidate their families?
A recent poll asked independent voters their thoughts on ICE's enforcement of immigration laws. 71% thought they'd gone too far. Jen Sullivan, WTOL 11 on Plus.
Tomorrow is President's Day. That means you can expect a few places to be closed. Those include government buildings, county offices, banks, and post offices, as well as some schools. The Toledo-Lucas County Public Library, though, will remain open, and Republic Services trash pickup is not impacted, so it won't be delayed this week. And a heads up if you use the MLK Bridge to get in and out of downtown Toledo. The city says it'll be closed Tuesday and Wednesday as part of the ongoing bridge upgrade project. A detour will be available through Front Street to Craig Street to Summit Street in both directions. That closure is set to happen from 9:30 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. both days. So if you're heading downtown during those hours, plan ahead and allow extra time for travel. If potholes have been rattling your drive, some help is on the way. Toledo is launching a citywide pothole blitz starting this Tuesday and running through the 21st. Crews say they're taking advantage of a brief warm-up and hope to fill about 7,500 potholes in just 5 days. You're encouraged to report potholes through the Engage Toledo app or website, including the exact location and lane the pothole is in. City officials say the repairs will be prioritized based on safety, with major roads and high traffic areas getting fixed first. About 40,000 babies are born with congenital heart defects every year in the United States. February marks American Heart Month. And tonight, evening anchor Kaylee Marintet shares the story of a fighter whose toughness showed the moment he came into the world.
Go, Brett! Get him, Brett!
On the mat, Brett Pisker's strength is evident for being just 6 years old. And his strength is something he's shown since he was just 6 days old. His parents, Louis and Jocelyn, welcomed baby Brett into the world May 1st, 2019. But what they thought would be a normal C-section took a turn.
They brought him out and put him on my chest for skin-to-skin contact, and he was just so blue. And I just remember looking at Louis, and I was like, something is not right. His oxygen sats were in the 60s. Normal is anywhere between 95 to 100.
So after some further tests were kind of quickly done, they kind of realized that something was not right. And within minutes, we were kind of notified on what was going on and what they thought could be wrong, and he was rushed immediately up to Mott's Children's Hospital.
There, he underwent open heart surgery.
Brett's condition is called transposition of the great arteries. So basically, when he was born, his two main arteries of his heart were flip-flopped, so they were in the wrong position.
He was monitored in the hospital for a few weeks, put on a feeding tube, and then sent home to recover.
Within a month and a half, we were off the feeding tube, and I would say, you know, things were very scary for about the first year.
Going for monthly checkups to the cardiologist.
Yeah, nothing really can ever prepare you for something like that.
But even then, they knew of his strength.
I just couldn't believe how resilient his little body was at such a young age.
The same resilient baby, now more grown.
He is his own big personality that we absolutely love. He is super active. He wrestles, he plays football, he plays baseball.
He does all the things. He has no limitations whatsoever.
Marked with a scar on his chest, Brett's story of survival is something his parents know they need to share.
I think that's really important that you spread awareness by, you know, being vocal about your challenges and what you've gone through, because it could help someone in the future.
So how does Brett feel now?
Feel good.
Feel good?
A born fighter, equipped to win off and on the mat.
Brett's story is just one of the many we're highlighting this month. We also have a Heart Month special you can watch over on WTOL 11+. It's called February is Heart Month. Heartwarming stories of perseverance and strength. Download WTOL 11+ on your TV and watch it for free. Now let's get things over to meteorologist John Birchfield with a look at your weather. John?
The February thaw continuing into the upcoming week. In fact, temperature is going to be getting even warmer yet. By Wednesday, we're expecting highs that'll be surging up into the 60s. It is going to come with some rain, likely for the first half of the day Wednesday, but far from a washout as expected. 48 degrees as temperatures fall after dark this evening. Some spots are still in the 50s. This week, it is going to be warmer south and west of Toledo and just a little bit cooler near the immediate lakeshore. Now, there has been a low pressure system churning off towards the Atlantic seaboard, and that did bring us some early day clouds, but hopefully you enjoyed that afternoon sun. This area of low pressure moving towards the Carolinas, and we are going to stay dry and quiet. However, there could be some areas of dense fog tonight due to the melting snow and the calm winds. Travel delays are going to be possible, even though the kids have school off for President's Day. Those who do have to report to work, or if you have anywhere to be tomorrow, keep in mind the roads could be a little slow going due to that fog. Hour by hour visibility does show the chance for quarter-mile visibility, dense fog, and it's going to be sticking around through mid-morning, which isn't always characteristic. Even through 10 to 11 a.m., there is still the chance for some fog or low-hanging clouds before it finally burns off into the afternoon. It is going to be turning partly sunny and pleasant into your President's Day afternoon. Temperature-wise, we're going to be in the 50s, and it's really the wind that is going to help alleviate or dissipate that fog. Southwest winds do ramp up to 10 to 20 with an occasional 25-mile-an-hour gust, and the wind really helps break apart that fog. Temperatures in the low 30s overnight. Afternoon highs low to mid 50s, possibly even the upper 50s southwest towards Putnam and Hancock counties. The next 4 days will keep the mild weather rolling. On Tuesday, there is going to be a little more cloud cover, and once again, the potential for a bit of morning fog. I know it sounds like a broken record, but this time of year with all that snow melt, fog is very commonplace. Wednesday is going to be incredibly mild. Morning rain, a mild afternoon, and Thursday, one last warm day before temperatures start to drop on off. Foggy conditions are going to be expected overnight tonight, giving way to a partly sunny and dry afternoon, but there will be rain chances early Wednesday. There is a 70% chance of showers for the first half of the day, and it is going to be turning brighter progressively into the afternoon. Another batch of rain is going to be likely Thursday night into Friday as a cold front works through the area, and that front is going to bring us back to reality next weekend. A very mild